By a show of hands, how many have heard of the Alamo in San Antonio, Texas? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's probably a lot of us, especially Americans. But did you know that the Alamo, or Mission San Antonio de Valero, is actually one of 5 Spanish colonial missions along the 10-mile mission trail? With that in mind, let's see what we're getting up to this week. We stopped by each one of these missions along the trail, and I'm here to let you know which ones you should be adding to your San Antonio travel plans. Speaking of travel plans, we're now booking non-stop flights for your finger to that subscription button. So smash it and be sure to use caution when checking the overhead bins because items may have shifted during flight. For number 5, we're stopping by Mission San Juan Capistrano, or Mission San Juan for short, which was actually moved to the San Antonio area in 1731. The church here stands out among the 5 missions due to the bright white exterior. A small museum on the grounds gives a glimpse into the history, but this mission wasn't as successful as the others during its time. And with very little of the ruins remaining, there isn't much to see. If your travel plans don't provide enough time to see every mission, this could be one you choose to skip. It's difficult for me to recommend skipping any of the missions because they all have something to offer with varying degrees of something. But I also know when you're on vacation, you only have so much time, you gotta prioritize what you want to see the most. The next mission clocks in at number 4, and that is Mission Espada, which is short for Mission San Francisco de la Espada. Also established in 1731 after being relocated from eastern Texas, the mission eventually built a wall surrounding the compound for reasons such as the constant threat of Apache raids. Many of the stone dwellings that lined these walls still exist today, although the ruins are a mere shadow of what they were over a century ago. But there are a few buildings still around, one of which is the church. Like each of the historic missions, it is still in use today. Local parishioners attend services every Sunday, and some of them are descendants of the original congregation. I don't know about you, but I find that kind of fascinating. Something that stands out here, though, are all the flowers blooming outside the entrance to the church. It was beautiful and very much worth a visit, but I also understand that I'm rating this at number 4, and it may sound strange that I'm telling you that you should stop by, but I actually almost swapped number 3 and number 4. But number 3 had one thing going for it that made me rank it higher than Mission Espada. So let's discuss the next one on our list. The number 3 spot goes to Mission San Antonio de Valero, which is more commonly known as the Alamo. There are 2 main buildings to see here, the Long Barrack and the Alamo Church. And as you can see, both buildings are packed with other tourists. While there is a lot of history that happened here, and that could bring a lot of intrigue to some, I found myself underwhelmed from the perspective of a tourist. There just wasn't as much to see as I was expecting based on the fame and popularity of this attraction. Now, you might be asking why I ranked this at number 3 if I was so underwhelmed. If you remember, I mentioned there was one thing that moved the Alamo into the number 3 spot. Can you guess what that was? I thoroughly enjoyed the live musket firing demonstration, but that was just a small taste. The full demonstration is about 15 minutes long and happens twice a day on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, without this demonstration, I probably would have ranked Alamo a little bit lower on our list. Now, to be fair, there are audio tours and guided tours for an extra fee that might have made this a better experience, but I can't say for sure. Regardless, this live demonstration was just enough to edge out Mission Espada and bring the Alamo into the number 3 spot. But hey, we still got 2 more left to go, so let's keep moving through our list. For number 2 on our list, we have Mission Concepcion. So it's also known as
Mission Nuestra Senora de la Purisima Concepcion de Acuna.
Yeah, out of respect, I'm not going to try to pronounce this and just save us all the embarrassment of how badly I'll mess it up. Deal? Like many of the other missions on our list, it was relocated from eastern Texas, yes, in 1731. None of the wall remains today, and there's very little of the structures that once existed beyond the church, but the church is more than worth it. We were lucky enough to see the inside just before Sunday Mass. This was the first mission we stopped at, and it set the standard for the rest we saw that day. Walking through here and thinking what it must have been like was amazing. With Mission Concepcion being the first stop we made that day along the mission trail, it made a lasting impression that all the other missions had to live up to, and that's why it ranks so highly on our list. But now it's time to get to our number one spot, and anyone who knows all 5 Spanish colonial missions knows what's coming next. Well, anyway, here's number 1. Our number 1 spot goes to Mission San Jose, and I think it's easy to understand why. This mission was founded in 1720 as
Mission San Jose y San Miguel de Aguayo.
And of all the missions on this list, it by far has the most to see. One of the interesting points for me was the arches that ran along the missionary residences. The church at Mission San Jose, like the others on this list, is still in use today. And with the entire wall still intact and many other structures including the bastion, soldiers' quarters, and grist mill, it's surprising that Mission San Jose isn't more well known. This is by far the most complete of the colonial missions. And there's an added bonus that is not as crowded as the Alamo. We walked through every building that was open to the public and saw what it might have been like to live here nearly 3 centuries ago. Before we knew it, we'd spent well over an hour exploring Mission San Jose, and I can't recommend it enough to anyone visiting San Antonio. You should definitely add this to your list. Do you agree with our list? Well, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you here next week.